1. Rotate the direction you sleep. I know it sounds strange, maybe even pointless, but hear me out. The way your bed faces, the direction your head points each night, that becomes data for your nervous system. Your body remembers things, not just emotions or thoughts, but space, light, angles. That same direction, every night, becomes familiar. And that familiarity, it can start holding emotional residue. Let's say for weeks or even months, you've been going to bed stressed, anxious, doom-scrolling, or lying awake overthinking. Your nervous system starts to associate that sleeping position with tension. It's like replaying the same scene in a movie and expecting a different ending. Now imagine you rotate your bed, or just flip your head to the foot of the bed. Suddenly, your sensory environment changes. The light hits differently. The smells shift. The sounds enter from another angle. Your brain wakes up to the present. Not in an anxious way, but in a reorganized way. You've just created what psychologists call a micro-pattern break, a subtle physical interruption that tells your system something new is happening, and it's safe. Ancient practices like feng shui tapped into this intuitively, believing that energy flows where placement shifts. But even modern neuroscience backs it. Change your environment, and you change your emotional script. Tonight, if you can, try it. Rotate your pillow to the other side, or just sleep facing a new wall. See what happens. Notice how your body responds. Even one night can refresh the system. Because sometimes, peace doesn't come from changing your life. It comes from changing your angle. To place one object with intention each morning. Here's a challenge. Tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you open your inbox, before the world crashes into your peace, do this one thing. Choose one object, anything, a mug, your keys, a candle, a folded cloth, and place it slowly, with intention. That's it. You're not doing it to be productive. You're doing it to tell your body, I am here. I am awake. I am safe. We often start the day in a panic, scrolling, rushing, reacting, and that frenzy becomes the rhythm of our nervous system for the entire day. But this one act, this simple, grounded motion, becomes a physiological anchor, a signal to your body that you're in charge of the pace. Touch the object, feel its weight. Let your breath sync with your hand. This is what's called sensory motor grounding. It's how the body calms itself through small physical cues. Even if the rest of your day spirals, you began from stillness, and that changes everything. 3. Change your password to a calming word. You probably type your password dozens of times a week, maybe even more. What if every time you did, you told your nervous system something kind? Instead of XF87 number 2 exclamation mark, what if you typed stillness 24 or breathe now or soft focus 88? No one else will see it. It's just between you and your keyboard, but it becomes a secret ritual, a private affirmation, a quiet interruption in your day that says, we're safe now. You don't need to brace. And that's not fluff. That's neuroscience, because repetition builds patterns. And every time you type that password, you're training your body to associate that word with presence. Even ancient Stoic philosophers understood this. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind. Nowhere is more peaceful than your own soul. You're not just logging into your email, you're logging into a state of calm. 4. Speak gently to an inanimate object. Okay, this one might feel silly, but trust me. Try saying thank you to your coffee mug. Or whisper to your chair, you've supported me more than some people have. Or when you grab your keys, smile and say, let's go do something good today. It sounds childlike, but beneath it, there's something powerful happening. You're not just being quirky, you're retraining the emotional tone of your nervous system, because the way we treat objects often mirrors how we treat ourselves. We slam drawers when we're stressed. We drop our phones like they're the problem. We curse the laptop for lagging, but really we're just overwhelmed. Speaking softly to the still things around you teaches your body this. Gentleness is allowed, even here, even now. And over time, that softness doesn't stay with the cup. It comes back to you. You start offering that same tone to your fatigue, your mess, your healing. That's not weakness. That's a radical kind of strength. 5. Create a pause spot in your home. Most of our homes are designed for doing. There's a place to eat, a place to work, a place to clean, to scroll, to binge, to fix. But where's your space to just be? Create one. It doesn't need to be fancy. A chair by a window, a pillow on the floor, one step in the hallway where the light hits softly. That's your pause spot. No screens, no tasks, no output. Just a place where your body learns. Here I can exhale. Even 2 to 3 minutes a day in that space will change your rhythm, because your nervous system learns from environment. It remembers, this is where I'm not performing. This is where I'm allowed to feel, to exist, to come undone without fixing anything. It's like a quiet message you send to yourself. You don't have to earn rest. You're allowed to stop. And that's not indulgent. That's essential. Closing thought. You don't need a brand new life to feel emotionally stable. You just need a new way of being in the life you already have. One rotated pillow, one placed object, one password typed with love, one whisper to a quiet mug, one corner where stillness is welcome. Because when you stack these micro moments again and again, they stop being small. They become the structure your nervous system builds trust on. Not through force, not through control, but through presence. So if you've been searching for peace, maybe stop searching and start listening. It's already in your hands, in your breath, in the way you move through your morning, one moment at a time. There are days when the world feels too loud. Not just noisy on the outside, but loud inside your chest, your thoughts, your skin. You try to concentrate, but your mind skips like a scratched record. You try to rest, but your body won't stop bracing. You feel everything, and nothing, all at once. It's not burnout yet, but it's close. It's not anxiety exactly, but something's off. You're not falling apart, but you're not fully here either. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know, you're not broken. You're overwhelmed. And your nervous system is trying, desperately, to find safety again. But here's the good news. You don't have to go off-grid or start a 90-day routine to find your way back. All it might take is 5 minutes, or a glance, or the feel of your bare feet on the floor. Let's talk about 5 small, often overlooked practices that help your body return to calm. Not through force, but through rhythm. 1. Use a timer, not to hurry, but to focus. Most of us associate timers with pressure, deadlines, hustle, school tests, productivity hacks. But what if we flipped that? What if a timer didn't rush you, but held you? Imagine this. You're trying to start a task, folding laundry, writing a message, sitting in silence. But your mind keeps spinning. Will this take too long? Am I doing it right? Should I be doing something else? Suddenly, it's not the task that's hard. It's the openness, the uncertainty, the lack of container. This is where the timer comes in, not as a whip, but as a boundary. Try this. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Tell yourself, for the next 5 minutes, I only have to do one thing, nothing more. And something beautiful happens. Your body exhales. Your mind stops resisting. You don't have to finish. You just have to show up. This tiny boundary becomes a nervous system message. We're safe. We're held. We know when this will end. This practice doesn't just build focus. It rebuilds trust. Trust in your ability to stay, to begin, to complete. or simply be. Even the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the ability to choose what you give your attention to." So instead of drowning in an endless list, try 5 minutes of anything. Just one window of focus, one anchor in the storm. 2. Let your eyes trace the edges of the room. Most of the time, we look at things, fast, sharp, distracted. We scan. We jump from screen to screen, thought to thought, item to item. But here's something few people know. The way you move your eyes affects your nervous system. Deeply. Rapid, darting eye movement, that's associated with stress and fight or flight. Slow, steady tracking, that signals your body it's safe. So try this. The next time you enter a space, your kitchen, your car, a cafe, pause. Let your eyes gently trace the outline of something in the room. Maybe it's the curve of a lamp, the edge of a table, the shape of a shadow on the wall. Follow it, slowly, without labeling it, without analyzing it. Just move your gaze, like a brushstroke on canvas. This activates what scientists call smooth pursuit. It shifts you into your parasympathetic state, where rest, digestion, and healing live. You don't have to understand the biology for your body to feel the effect. Within 30 seconds, your breath may slow, your shoulders may drop, your thoughts may stop racing. Because you're no longer fighting the moment, you're observing it. And that shift, from reacting to witnessing, is the beginning of emotional balance. 3. Carry a small object that reminds you of strength. We live so much in our minds, it's easy to forget we have a body. But sometimes the fastest way back to calm isn't through a thought. It's through a touch. That's why I always recommend this simple habit. Carry a small object with you, a coin, a stone, a ring, a pendant, a bead. Something small enough to fit in your palm, but meaningful enough to anchor you. It could be something someone gave you during a hard season, something you picked up on a meaningful trip, or something you chose today to represent resilience, hope, or clarity. When you're overwhelmed, touch it, hold it, feel its texture, its weight, its shape. You don't have to do anything with it, just feel it and breathe. This is called somatic anchoring, using physical sensation to redirect your awareness away from spiraling thoughts and back to the present. It's not superstition, it's nervous system wisdom. Even ancient warriors carried talismans into battle. Even Stoics like Marcus Aurelius kept objects on them as reminders of peace, mortality, virtue. It doesn't matter what the object is, it matters what you associate with it. Let it become your silent companion, a reminder that you've been through hard things before and you're still here. 4. Feel the floor beneath your bare feet. This one might be the most grounding of all, literally. Take off your socks, stand still. Let the soles of your feet connect with the surface below. Tile, wood, carpet, stone. Don't label it, don't rush it, just feel it. This is one of the most powerful ways to pull yourself out of a racing mind and into the present, because your feet are rich with nerve endings that connect to your interoceptive system, your body's awareness of itself. When you're anxious, your energy rises into your chest, your jaw, your thoughts. But when you feel your feet, you drop back down. You root. You settle. You remember, I'm here. I'm held. I'm safe. Try it first thing in the morning, before bed, under your desk during the workday. No one has to know. It takes less than 30 seconds, but it sends a message your nervous system is starving for. You're not floating. You're supported. Sometimes peace begins with nothing more than bare feet and presence. 5. Answer one question, without saying, I don't know. This might be the hardest habit, but also the most liberating. We say, I don't know so often, we barely notice anymore. How are you feeling? I don't know. What do you need today? Not sure. What do you want? I really don't know. But often that phrase isn't truth. It's avoidance. a shield to protect us from feeling too much or being too honest. And here's the thing, your nervous system craves clarity, not perfection. It doesn't need you to have the answer. It just needs to know you're willing to speak. So try this. Once a day, answer a question with something real, even if it's messy, even if it's unfinished. I feel anxious, and I think it's because I haven't rested. I'm overwhelmed, but I know I need to move my body. I want comfort, even if I'm afraid to ask for it. Say it out loud. Write it down. Whisper it in your car. Tell it to the mirror or someone you trust. This is not about being right. It's about being present. And every time you choose truth over silence, your nervous system exhales because you're no longer hiding from yourself. You're meeting yourself right where you are. The Stoics practiced this kind of radical self-awareness daily. Marcus Aurelius journaled not to be wise, but to remember who he was. You don't need eloquence. You don't need certainty. You just need to begin the sentence. Closing thought. So often we search for emotional stability in big things, new jobs, new cities, new identities. But what if it's already here, in a 5-minute timer, a soft gaze along the wall, a pebble in your pocket, the cool floor beneath your feet? One honest sentence. That's how stability is built. Not in intensity, but in intimacy. Your nervous system isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be present, to come home, to your body, your truth, your breath. So today, try just one. Pick the habit that calls to you. And trust that no matter how small it seems, it matters. Because healing doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it sounds like 5 minutes, or the weight of a stone, or the soft click of a timer. Sometimes it feels like your bare feet on the floor. And sometimes it begins with the words, I do know, I'm here. Let me ask you something. What if peace wasn't about fixing your emotions? What if you didn't have to turn sadness into joy, or fear into courage, or uncertainty into control? What if instead of trying to change what you feel, you simply allowed yourself to feel it? You see, most of us were taught, directly or indirectly, that emotions need to be managed, improved, silenced, or spun into positivity. And so, when grief knocks, we distract. When anger rises, we suppress. When joy bubbles up, we worry it won't last. We're not comfortable with raw feeling. But that discomfort often creates more pain than the emotion itself. In this video, I want to offer you something different. 5 small practices that help you meet your emotions instead of managing them. That teach your body and mind. It's safe to feel. It's safe to stay. It's safe to soften. Let's begin. 1. Welcome one emotion. Each day. Most mornings we wake up bracing. Bracing for the inbox, for the news, for the demands and the noise and the mood that might ambush us by 10 a.m. But what if, instead of bracing, we opened? What if, just once a day, you chose an emotion, any emotion, and simply said, Today I welcome you. It could be pleasant. Today I welcome joy. Today I welcome curiosity. Or hard. Today I welcome grief. Today I welcome sadness. You don't need to fix the emotion. You don't need to like it. Just name it and allow it. Because the nervous system doesn't need control. It needs acknowledgement. It calms when it feels seen, not when it's being shoved aside. By naming and welcoming an emotion, you're telling your inner world, you're allowed here. You're not dangerous. I can sit with you. Over time, this tiny ritual builds emotional resilience, not by avoiding discomfort, but by staying present with it. And as the Stoics understood, true strength isn't being unmoved by emotion. It's choosing not to be undone by it. 2. Chew one. Bite slowly and without distraction. We eat every day, but most of us rarely taste anything. We eat while standing, while scrolling, while working, while talking. We eat fast, automatically, without attention. But here's something powerful. Your digestive system and your nervous system are deeply connected. When you chew slowly with intention, your body enters the parasympathetic state, the rest and digest mode. It tells your system, we're safe now, there's no emergency, you can slow down. So here's the practice. Once a day, pick one bite of food, just one. It could be a piece of fruit, a bite of bread, a spoonful of soup, and commit to chewing it slowly with full attention. No phone, no talking, no rushing. Feel the texture, notice the flavor, breathe between bites. It sounds so small, maybe even silly. But this is how you teach your body to return to calm. Because mindfulness doesn't have to be practiced on a mountaintop. It can happen at your kitchen counter in one quiet bite. And that's the magic. You're not forcing presence. You're tasting your way into it. 3. Get out of bed on the other side. Most of us don't think twice about how we start our day. Same stretch, same side of the bed, same routine. But here's what we often overlook. Repetition creates emotional grooves. If every morning you wake up and immediately feel rushed, overwhelmed, or resigned, and you always move the same way from the same side, your brain starts to link that movement with those emotions. It becomes muscle memory, not just for your body, but for your mood. So change the pattern. Tomorrow morning, climb out of bed from the other side. Roll over, stretch differently. Put your feet down in a new direction. It may feel awkward, even clumsy, but that's the point. You're disrupting the emotional autopilot. You're telling your brain, we don't have to start the day with anxiety. We can move differently, literally. It's a micro reset, a moment of playful awareness, a soft rebellion against the emotional script you didn't choose. And that one shift, it opens the door for new feelings to enter. 4. Trace a circle with your finger for 30 seconds. When your mind is spinning and your chest feels tight, what do you usually do? Try to think your way out of it. Scroll, distract, overanalyze. But what your nervous system often needs isn't logic. It's rhythm. Simple, predictable, repeating rhythm. That's why this next practice is so powerful. Take one finger, trace a slow, gentle circle on your palm, or your thigh, or a surface in front of you. No meaning, no goal, just the motion. This mimics what psychologists call self-soothing behavior, something even babies instinctively do to regulate themselves. Why does it work? Because circular motion is ancient. It's calming. It's familiar to your body on a primal level. There's no edge, no end, no urgency. Just return, return, return. As you trace that circle, your breath might deepen, your shoulders may relax, your thoughts begin to settle, not because you forced them, but because you gave them rhythm. Even Stoic thinkers wrote about the cycles of nature, day and night, death and rebirth, the wheel of fortune. They saw life as flowing in curves, not lines. This practice is a mini version of that philosophy, a circle in your palm, to return you to center. 5. End the day with a sentence. You wish someone had told you. You've made it to the end of the day. The lights are off. The emails are quiet. But inside, something still aches. Maybe it's the thing no one said, the support you needed but didn't get, the encouragement you didn't receive, the love you didn't hear out loud. Here's a gentle invitation. Before bed, speak one sentence out loud to yourself, the one you needed to hear today. Maybe it's, you did enough. You don't have to carry it alone. I'm proud of you. You're allowed to rest now. You don't need to perform it. No need to believe it 100%. Just say it, softly, for you. Your brain will register it. Your heart will hear it. Your body will soften in response. Because so often, what hurts isn't just what happened. It's what was never said. When you speak to yourself this way, you're not being dramatic. You're being devoted. You're reparenting the part of you that's still waiting to be seen. You're creating closure in a world that rarely gives it freely. Even Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote to himself nightly. Not because he needed to be convinced, but because he knew. Your soul deserves to hear your own voice. So say it. The sentence. The one you wish someone whispered. Let it be the last thing you hear before sleep. Because that voice, yours, may become the most powerful comfort you've ever known. Final thought. So many of us walk through life trying to fix our emotions. We try to be less anxious, more grateful, less sad, more present. But what if presence was never about controlling what we feel? What if it was about allowing what's already there? Today's 5 practices don't ask you to change your feelings. They simply ask you to welcome them. Welcome one emotion. Taste one bite. Shift one motion. Trace one circle. Speak one truth. Each of these is a doorway, not into perfection, but into presence, not into performance, but into peace. Because emotional strength doesn't mean you feel amazing all the time. It means you're willing to feel whatever shows up and stay kind. So if you're carrying something heavy right now, don't rush to put it down. Sit with it. Name it. Breathe with it. Let it know you're not alone anymore. That's where real healing begins. Not someday. Not after you've figured it all out. But tonight. Right now. In this breath. In this moment. So after all these small shifts, where do we go from here? You might be wondering, is that it? Just a few tiny habits, a rotated pillow, a paused breath, a whispered sentence before bed? Yes. Because here's the truth most of us were never taught. Emotional stability doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency. It comes from what you repeat, not what you force. We live in a world obsessed with extremes. Fix everything fast. Heal it all now. Become unrecognizably better by Monday. But your nervous system doesn't speak the language of transformation. It speaks the language of safety. And safety, the kind that's real, the kind that lasts, is built through rhythm. Small, intentional, gentle repetition. That's why every one of these micro habits matters. Because every time you place your phone down with intention, every time you chew one bite slowly, every time you speak to yourself like someone worth listening to, you're sending a message to your entire system. We're safe now. You don't need to brace anymore. And over time, that message becomes your foundation. So no, you don't need a new life, a new routine, or a complete reinvention to feel steady. You just need to keep returning. Back to your breath, back to your body, back to the present, back to you. Let these practices be like soft stones you place along a path you can walk again and again. Not to escape from who you are, but to come home to it. And when you find your footing, when your own body begins to feel like a safe place again, don't keep it to yourself. Share these habits with someone who's tired of pretending they're okay, with someone who's overwhelmed but doesn't know where to start, with someone who's been strong for too long and just needs permission to soften. Because healing isn't just for you. Peace grows in circles, and the smallest habit, done with love, can ripple farther than you imagine. So if this video helped you, pass it on. Not as advice, not as a fix, but as an invitation to slow down, to breathe again, to remember that the smallest things are never small when they're done with care. You don't have to chase stability anymore. You're building it right now, one quiet act at a time.